right. Are you ready to go, Ms. Lisa?
I am ready to go. All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. All right. Welcome to our, I think, sixth episode of our Platform Foundation Academy. Today, I'm joined by my wonderful colleague, Andrew Barnes, and we'll be talking about what's new in Rome in the Now platform, but also in the space of App Engine workflows and integrations. I am super happy that everybody has time to join us. Please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A panel, and we'll try to answer them either at the appropriate sections or at the end of this session. If you've never joined us before, the Platform Foundation Academy was started to give you a webinar and intro into different Platform Foundation topics. We will do more or less presentation in the beginning of each session, and then we'll go over into a Q&A panel at the end of the session. I will just quickly introduce myself. My name is Lisa Hohenstein. I'm a senior platform outbound product manager located in Germany, and I've been with ServiceNow for more than 2.5 years, coming up on 3 years early into next year. I've been working with ServiceNow more than 5 years by now. So this is the best place to be, if you ask me. And please introduce yourself, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm Andrew Barnes. I am also a outbound product manager in our Creator Workflows business unit here at ServiceNow. And I have just passed my 3rd year anniversary a couple of Saturdays ago here at ServiceNow. I've been in the ecosystem since 2014, which is such a long time ago now. So many knowledges, knowledge 14 to knowledge 21, many of them in between. So I have led some development teams at a couple of customers. I've been an implementation partner, and as I said, I've been here at ServiceNow for about 3 years. And I just love working on this platform and engaging with you, the wonderful people out there, actually turning this into reality for organizations out there in the wild. So thank you for joining us.
Yay, thank you so much. So happy day. Today is GA day. That means all you wonderful people for your productive test dev, whatever instances, you can go to the support portal and schedule your upgrade to Rome today. So GA day is always exciting, and we're happy to share all of the great new features. Some of them you may have heard of before because our awesome colleagues in the developer advocates team have already started creating content when EA started, so early access. We will probably mention some of their sessions throughout this. So if you find any of the topics that we're talking about today are of special interest to you, we will provide links after to all of the developer advocacy goodness. So they have created so much great content already about the Rome features. And I highly recommend for you to go check them out and see how they can help you make your work life better. And with that,
I'm hanging out here in Rome, a picture I took in Rome, but I feel bad because I got my New York shirt on.
I have my Quebec shirt. I just yesterday was able to order my Rome shirt. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
All right.
Okay, let's just get the safe harbor. Yeah, let's get this out of the way because, well, this is GA. We are not talking about future or forward-looking things. So we're talking about things that are available right now. And we have some packed agendas. So we'll probably rush through some of those, but definitely go and check them out in detail. Go check out the release notes, check out the great content that is already out there. We can only skim over everything because we're releasing so many great things in each release now. We'll be talking about an App Engine, mobile app creator, mobile app builder, I think, UI builder, process automation designer, playbooks, development and configuration, workflows, that is Flow Designer and IntegrationHub, and of course, some platform foundation topics. So this is a very packed agenda. We have a lot to talk about. And we're diving right in. We'll start with App Engine. So what's new with App Engine? As most of you will know probably, App Engine was first released in the Quebec release. So that was the very first time that you got access to it. And the idea of App Engine is that there's a low and no code way for your content creators, for your app creators, your citizen developers, but also pro developers to create apps with very easy tools in one interface. So the greatest part about App Engine Studio is that it integrates all kinds of builders, low and no code, into one interface and gives you a great overview of everything that goes with your app, be that tables or experiences built with UI Builder, be that automation with Flow Designer, or soon also process automation designer. See, there was the forward-looking statement. Damn it. Got me on the first slide. But also security ACLs. And for any good application development, it's always good for your citizen developers to have pro developers give them guidelines and guardrails to work within. So introducing in Rome, we will allow to have better collaboration within App Engine Studio for your citizen and pro developers. So you can invite other collaborators to the app that you create. There's no more need for the M2M table workaround to bring an existing app into App Engine Studio and to invite other collaborators into your project, but you can invite collaborators directly from App Engine Studio. That is a very, very good feature, and we're going to expand that also. Another one that is very interesting here is that we have integrated source control in App Engine Studio. So you can now actually commit changes, create a branch, pull from repository, and all kinds of source control goodness that you're used to from your dev studio is now also available in App Engine Studio. And I think that will also make this more useful to all of you pro coders. And then the third thing that I just skipped over is to reduce platform risk and make sure that all of your developers have the correct access. We have added more options to the delegated development configuration in App Engine Studio, but so for App Engine Studio, but also UI builders, so that when you grant delegated development access, you can decide that, for example, your other developers may use the source control features, or they may have the option to actually also delete an app or use UI Builder to create experiences. So a lot of great features, and I really hope this helps with you starting to use App Engine Studio. Then a great new feature, and this is 100% new in Rome, is the mobile app builder. So this will be the counterpart, or more like the replacement for a mobile builder that we had in the Dev Studio before. This is also fully built in the Seismic. So in the UX framework that we have for Now Experience, it is a new builder to create mobile apps that can then be published to your Now mobile app, to your Now Agent app, and all kinds of other things. So extend your workflows with a custom app for your iOS and Android clients. This is really awesome. There's been, while we're talking about it, I think there has been a creator toolbox session about this last week, and there will be a live coding happy hour about this Friday. So be sure to join that and to ask the product owners and the developer advocates all of your questions around the mobile app builder.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes. I don't know if you've seen the Creator Toolbox, but I really liked it. And they had David Murch join them, and the other colleague, and they talked about it in all depths, and also what is going to be added to mobile app builder in the next release, because since it's deployed through the store, there will be updates happening more frequently than with major releases. So be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited for mobile app builder.
And so I am as well. And just because it's the previous thing you talked about, App Engine Studio is also the store release item. And so you'll see some future updates to that, which will still go with the Roam family version of ServiceNow later this year in the December-ish timeframe.
That's awesome. So many updates coming in. All right, enough about AES. We have some great news also for everybody who already started using UI Builder. And if you haven't yet, I will absolutely recommend for you to go check out the UI Builder Bytes playlist that Brad has been creating, and also especially the lady coding happy hours, where Ashley and my other lovely lady colleagues have started to create an experience in UI Builder. And I know that Ashley's blog is also full of goodness about UI Builder, so go check out those resources. So maybe Ashley will be happy to see those as well. There are new features to UI Builder. The viewport component has been introduced and upgraded and improved and whatever. So what this is great for is, say, 80% of your page is the same for all kinds of people. So whether they're admins or requesters or fulfillers or whatever, and you want to just replace one part of your screen with different info. So the greatest thing about the viewport is that you just add this component, and then you can add pages with different variants and different audiences just for that part of the page. So you don't have to rebuild your page for different audiences, and it definitely cuts down on maintenance time if the rest of the info is the same for all people. Then next is the condition builder. This is one that I have been waiting for anxiously, because previously in the Quebec release, it was really complicated to create or update data through a data resource. And the condition builder was the missing piece to this, because now the new condition builder that we're adding is actually not just allowing us to filter data, but we can use the condition builder with dynamic data to create and submit data through data resources. For example, you can use it in the event handler. You can use it in the component configuration panel. And it is also, I think one of the nicest thing about this is you can save filters and reuse them. And you can also hit the undo and redo buttons, because sometimes you just remove a bunch of conditions and then you find, oh, I should have kept that. And you can hit the undo button and be saved. So that's awesome. Yes, the next thing I have already talked about, the it is a tongue twister for me.
Delegated development.
Thank you. The delegated developer support. So for UI Builder and App Engine Studio, you can now grant those permissions for each of the developers or groups the way you want to grant them. So this is in support of App Engine Studio, but also if you want to use UI Builder from the Dev Studio. And the next one is a little more complicated to me, but other people feel right at home with CSS and theming. So we're now adding extra support for theming. You can add CSS styles to any element in UI Builder, and you will still need themes to change any internal visual properties. So but I think this allows you to actually define specific variables in your theme and to reuse them in the CSS editor. And then lastly, around UI experience and UI Builder, when we're talking about the configurable workspace, we have actually moved the ribbon and some secondary values over to the right into the contextual sidebar. This frees up so much space, especially vertically. So if you want to check out your records, you really want to see your record info first in the top, and not just all of the banner and all of the white space. And then, yes, so then Andrew will is already answering. There will be a UI Builder playlist. We will also link that in this video. So be sure to check out the video when it's uploaded to YouTube. We will add a bunch of resources and links and everything to that. All right. Playbook and pad enhancements. So this is kind of a crossover. Playbook belongs to the UI side of things for us. And then Process Automation Designer is the backend. I've seen a question the other day is whether you can actually use playbooks without having a process in the background that was created in Process Automation Designer, because that the solution consultant couldn't fathom that they can go without each other, but they actually can. So this is, I think, a good info to keep in mind. Playbook can also go with HR lifecycle events, for example, or any other system that feeds the correct data into playbooks. But of course, the most important pairing here is playbooks and Process Automation Designer. One great new feature introduced in Quebec for playbooks is the playbook record generator. So this can actually replace your new button, your new form, and it will give your users a guided intro into the record and the process they're starting with a new record. So this gives you the option to predefine which fields need to be filled in the beginning of a process, and it also gives your agents an insight into what kind of process will be triggering off that record. So they can already preview the different stages and how many activities would follow with that. And that, yes, Casey, that is exactly it. So this will allow you to have a playbook for a new record, and that you already see once you hit the new button, what process is going to be triggered. And then also maybe you have different processes that spawn off a task in type chat, or an interaction in type chat, or an interaction in type phone, or type self-service. So maybe there are different processes that are following, and this allows you to define the path that is going there. A second great new feature about playbooks is there's finally a testing experience. So when you're in Process Automation Designer and hit the test button, or you can also click the playbook preview, open that on its own, and then choose a playbook experience and choose the record and walk through the playbook from that part from there on. So you don't necessarily have to have a workspace to test your process. And then lastly, one thing that people have also been waiting for, you can now not only make an activity, but also lanes conditional. So this is really awesome for dynamic processes. You can make sure that, for example, if some decision in your process takes you down path A, you want a specific set of activities to run, then you have the conditional lane, and you don't have to set the condition for each of those. And then also, if the lane doesn't trigger, it won't show in the playbook at all. So it clears some of the clutter you had in the playbook for agents.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited about that conditions on lanes feature. Yeah, I've seen several times where I really wanted it already, so I'm glad that is available now.
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe there's also the option to have a delayed start for activities now. So you can say, okay, this activity should only start like a day after the previous was complete and not start immediately. So depending on what your process requires. But just to make sure that you get all the correct info for this topic too, we've had an awesome creator toolbox with my colleague Yaron Gez, who is the inbound engineer. No, he's the engineer lead for Playbooks. And he did a creator toolbox with Brad. And they also did a live coding happy hour about Playbooks and record generators and all of those things. So be sure to check that out. All right. And with this, I will hand it over to my colleague, Andrew. Please take it over for development and configuration goodness.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lisa. And I think the questions are fairly up to date so far. We've been keeping up, but please keep those questions rolling forward to us, and feel free to chat in the chat box. We love to see chat and engagement. So yeah, let's talk about some developer enhancements. Now, our development advocacy teammates are going to go way deeper into these topics. It's fairly topical talking about them and how they fit in the bigger picture here. But I will go through them for you now. So some developer tooling enhancements that we've got is the first one is around source control support. So if you've been following along with our source control enhancements since Orlando, we've been adding one application type per version. And here with the Rome release, we've hit the last one, which is ServiceNow scopes that are deployed via plugins are now able to use to leverage application customization bundling, and therefore be able to use source control and the app repo. So both of those are now available, so you can edit and enhance those ServiceNow plugins. And in fact, all application types now are supported to open in Studio and use source control and the app repo to manage those as opposed to update sets, which is, if you've ever seen me talk about developing on the platform, I like to automate and deploy things faster. So those are great enhancements for me. Talking about building faster and automating the development pipeline, the next thing is really important for that, which is the automated test framework has deployed a headless browser option for the client running pieces of ATF. We now have a supported Docker client headless browser runner, which can handle running your ATFs without taking up one of your developer or QA folks browser and computer, which is a really great enhancement and makes it so that you can have that end-to-end code deployment, testing, and validation all done via APIs and without having someone to sit there with a browser open on some computer somewhere, which is a great enhancement. And the last thing that we'll touch on here on this slide is the command line interface. So we have gone through a couple of iterations with command line tools that we've been shipping from ServiceNow, and we have aggregated them all together into now just one tool that can control all of the command line things that we'd like to support from ServiceNow's perspective, including you out there in your organizations. You can now create commands that you can call from that command line. So in your ServiceNow instance, you actually can configure and build your own commands that you can then reference from the command line tool. So we've got the ones that ServiceNow is shipping and in all of its suites that different groups are building and supporting, creating those custom components for our Now experience, and any of the own commands that you make yourself. So there really is a flexible and extensible framework that we're providing through that Now CLI in singular experience. Go ahead and step forward for me, Miss. So the next thing is in our traditional studio interface, we have added some support for building Now experience items. So we've added support for UI Builder in the traditional studio interface. So I think you may have mentioned it or seen it in the App Engine Studio. We have support for AES there. But now we have also added it for the traditional Dev Studio. And one of the new components, so there's always new components every release. We're not going to cover all of them, but in the developer tooling area, there's one special one that I wanted to mention here is the script editor is now a accessible component for anyone building experiences in UI Builder to use and leverage. And it's got some great enhancements to that new code editor as well. And you should dive in and take a look at them. But the compare feature is probably the thing that I will be building some experiences around is, doing that different, the difference compare for code. It's probably something that I will build an experience around here in the very near future for my own personal use. So I'm excited about that one. So let's step forward.
And one more.
Yeah. And so now, sort of carrying over into the same theme, some developer or type tooling is Flow Designer. I love Flow Designer, and when we're working in ServiceNow, we're workflowing it, and Flow Designer is one of those key places in which we turn that concept into reality. So Flow Designer in the Rome release has added some things that just make me so happy. Especially in my long career of doing integration work. Some of the things here in Flow Designer are just the right time for how we're maturing with this product. And so that will be error handling. There's extensive error handling added with the Rome release in Flow Designer at the flow level. So you can do it individual actions, flows, subflows. So all of the tiers of Flow Designer are supporting error handling, which is so great. So you can have scenarios where you have an integration, you've got an action, and you may have an error that would have previously stopped that action from executing, but instead, you might have a known remediation for one of those errors. And so you can have that built in to remediate that error and then continue on with the flow. So there's still cases in which you'll want to, end a flow and alert an administrator, but for some of those known cases, using this error handling is a great enhancement to really maturing the flows and integrations that you'll be using in Flow Designer. So I'm so excited about that. I think we're going to see a lot of improvements in how the administrators are having to monitor flows for errors moving forward. So I think that covers this one. Let's roll on to the next slide, which is a little more.
Wait a second.
Flow Designer integration. Oh, what?
Wait a second. There's more. But wait, there's more on Flow Designer. There's more. There are new transform functions in Flow Designers for your data pills. So you can
I thought I was going to do that on the next one.
No. Are you? No, that's the import. Psst.
I was going to mention it there. It's fine. Let's do it now.
Fine. Okay, so more transform functions for your data builds. There are some basic math things that we've been waiting for, like add, for example, or subtract, or round. You can sanitize potentially unsafe SQL statements. You can reformat text and some mathematical calculations. And I think in one of the live coding happy hours, they actually found out they can do some regex magic with those data pills. And for example, do a split, you get an array, and then you only output the latter part. It's amazing. So there's more right here. Then there's one big change that I want to make you aware of. In your instances, we will now, by default, deactivate the generation of reporting data. So this especially goes for your production instance, and that will make sure that your flows run that much smoother and that much faster. So don't you worry if you start on your instance. I'm not sure if it's going to be deactivated proactively or if that is just for new instances. But flow execution details will be deactivated in Roam instances. So you won't have those execution details. However, you can, of course, turn them back on for the instances that you need them, or also to turn them on only when you test a flow to debug. So to make sure that your the performance of your instances are that much faster. And then lastly, also in the vein of performance, there's now a limited retention of flow designer variables. So they will be pruned every month. So any flow designer related entries will be removed, and that will free up some more resources. Now we can continue.
Awesome. And yeah, so that's great news on the flow execution details, and has been for some of my largest customers that have been heavily adopting flow. That's one of the best practices that we've already had them do, is disable those unless they need to inspect a given flow's transactions for errors. So that's great that that's now going to be a default. So I'm excited for that. We've got a whole new interface over in IntegrationHub, which brings together a bunch of our different disparate experiences for doing imports. And I'm just so excited to go get my hands on this because I've been waiting for it for quite a while. Because so all of these things that we get to show for a given release, like Roam, they started way before today, and so we help work on these, and so I'm so excited to see this come to fruition. So I've done lots of imports on the platform. And this new interface allows you to bring together those different experiences and screens to one experience here inside Flow Designer to set up these imports. So you get to specify what the incoming data is, where the target is going to, map how you get from that import to the target table, and those transforms there. You can schedule those jobs here. Like, it just brings together so many of those importing processes all together in this one interface, and I think it's going to be a joy to use. And I'm really looking forward to this is a first release of an experience, and so the feedback that we're going to get from you that use this will really help us drive to enhance this and make it even more powerful in future releases. So we want to get you hands-on with this and giving us feedback as soon as possible.
Yeah, one small note for that is right now it is only it can only be used to data streams. So your data resource or data source needs to be a data stream that works through the IntegrationHub Flow Designer product. So never don't forget, IntegrationHub will require IntegrationHub licensing. But other than that, please try this out because it's amazing. I've actually already worked with this tool for a demo that I did 2 months ago, and it is so awesome. I wished I had this before when I was a customer.
Yeah, and it'll be expanding beyond data streams, hopefully here soon. But So do go look at it and give us your feedback. We'd love to hear your feedback for this in the comments of this video if you're watching it in the future. Let's step forward.
Yes.
Into what I
Platform.
believe is our last slide on scheduling the installation of applications and plugins. So we have some APIs that allow you to schedule version changes and installation of applications and plugins. And those APIs are great if you're a developer, but this enhancement here allows even administrators with no development experience to go and do, interact with these applications and schedule these installations or upgrades right from inside the platform with very little effort. So this is a very cool enhancement to adding some layer of automation and without a lot of overhead, which is pretty great. And there was one more thing on this.
There's more. We have more in the comments. Did you find your place?
Oh, I did.
Awesome.
So as you said, a reactive scan in instant scan. So if you've ever used instant scan, it is a new feature relatively in Quebec that instant scan is, which can fit into that developer pipeline for checking the health of your development and the health of your instance. And you get to set those definitions. And one of the things that has been added in Roam is a reactive scan. And so that can be triggered based off of a specific failure. Like, for example, if an upgrade to one of these applications fails for some reason, then we can run one of those reactive scans. So this is just a small step in, using some of these new tools like Instant Scan, and it's an example from us, but what it shows is the opportunity that things like Instant Scan and ATF, especially with the new headless runner, allows you to put together this complete package of monitoring and automation of your ServiceNow instance and your development. So the combination of all these things really opens the opportunity to maturing and really growing how we're monitoring the health of our instances, and doing things proactively ahead of time. So we can do these things before code releases to production, and then monitor things in our production instances as well. So lots of things are coming together here in the Roam release to really build that bigger picture. And with that, I think Lisa and I would like to thank you for joining us. And now we'll be happy to take some questions if we have any in the Q&A or the chat, or even potentially coming off audio and joining us in asking your questions.
And while we're doing that, I'm going to start a survey. I want to. I love the surveys. Just like we did for the Quebec release survey, I would like to know which release your instance is currently at. So I will start this one and have this run for a couple of minutes. And then I will also want to know which of the features that we talked about was most interesting to you. That will be the second poll that I will start right after.
And if for some reason you have lots of, you're a partner with 3 different customers, just pick one for your answer.
Yeah.
Just pick one.
All right. This is awesome. All right. Give us your questions. This is, we always love release days. It's so exciting. There's so much good info, so much things that we can finally fully share with everyone, because we've been excited for all of those. And when we're talking about favorite features, which are your favorite features in Roam, Andrew?
Ooh, which are my favorite features in Roam? Oh, that's a good question. Oh, I really like the yeah, I'm just gonna have to lean into it. The error handling and flow designer is gonna take the cake.
right?
That's my
Yeah.
favorite feature. It's
I
like four
am.
features, but that one wins. It takes the cake.
Yeah, I think error handling is going, or this kind of error handling is definitely going to be a game changer. And now we have another colleague, my manager, Adam Stout, joining us for the Q&As. So welcome, Adam.
But no, I just had to clarify. Andrew's wrong. It's nice. The flow designer stuff is nice, but for me, it's the collaboration in AES that as we go through and actually
Ooh.
getting to work together.
Round two, fight.
Just saying.
My opinion.
I know, and you're wrong.
Can't be wrong.
Oh yeah, you can.
I mean, we can pick more than one thing. I am excited for error handling. I am very much excited for the mobile app builder myself, because that is going to be revolutionizing the way we create mobile apps. And then definitely the integration hub imports, because it takes so much load off of you if you don't have to create those complicated import scripts, import set, transform maps, whatever, and you can do everything in the same interface, which is really awesome. All right.
I did cry a little bit when I saw
AES collaboration. Trust me, I think it's great, but AES is still new, and which it's going to get lots of enhancements, but integrations is the way. That's how we get to leverage the power of so much of the stuff on the platform is using Integration Hub and connecting things together and lowering the overhead for using those things by having good error handling. That's my jam.
All right. So questions, answers are coming in for the favorite features, and it looks like it's a head-to-head so far for headless testing, Flow Designer, and Integration Hub. So this is amazing. All right, there is a question, and Sachin asked that if we have ATF support for components and mobile app builder, and I would like to see some more info on that, maybe in the chat, or maybe I don't know if you can edit your question in the Q&A panel or add some more
info.
So
is the question asking, are we using ATF to test the mobile experience that you built? And I think the answer to that would be no. But yes, if you could clarify that question, that would be appreciated. Because their ATF doesn't have a way to run on your mobile app experience, so that would it doesn't have a way to do that.
Yeah, I don't think we have ATF for mobile apps, but I mean, you could theoretically have instance scans for best practices when creating your mobile app, because your mobile app configuration are just records in your database that feed your mobile app and define your configuration for your app. So you could create best practices and say, for any given launcher page, you should only have this many sections or something. And that should be possible with Instance Scan. You're thinking about regression testing for my mobiles. I build in mobile app builder. No, I don't think we have that at the moment. So right now, ATF does not cover mobile apps.
And yeah, we've got a creator toolbox on mobile app builder from last week, link from Tammy. Thank you. And there'll be another session, as Lisa said, on mobile tomorrow with the live coding happy hour. And we'll have those links in the community post for this as well. And yeah, so there's a question about, are import sets in Flow Designer more performant than robust import sets and normal import sets? And I don't have a good answer for that one. We can
I
get
have
the
a
answer.
part of the answer. The new import interface so the IntegrationHub import is using robust data transforms. I think that's the term. So it is actually creating those robust data transform sets for you from that interface, so you don't have to. And the engineers also told me to, if possible, not dabble with those. So it
don't dabble with the ones that it generates.
Yes. So you
That
can
seems reasonable.
You can go into the configuration and you can look what has been created and you can check it out. And you can also add after import scripts to it, but you shouldn't change much of the configuration itself. But they are, in fact, employing robust data transforms, I think is the word.
And I think that's a pretty frequent, good practice is if you're in an experience in ServiceNow that's generating records in other tables, don't go modify those records directly outside of that experience. It's just a general good thing. Don't go mess with them. Or if you do, have a really good reason and know that there's potential risk associated with manipulating things that are generated from an experience by going to them directly.
Yes, so there's another question posted by Uwe. Will this session be published for watching again? Yes, absolutely. I will post you the link for the YouTube playlist. So we have our own playlist. You can check out the past sessions as well. And we have a community post. I will put that in the chat where we collect all that info. There's a community event for each of these sessions, and we'll also post some more links and resources into those community things. All right.
That is awesome. Well, Lisa, it looks like we have covered
one more question.
One more question.
There's one more question, and I will start the feedback survey poll.
I was going to prompt you to start the feedback. Look at you, you're always on it. You're so good. Is there an ETA for non-data stream imports to be allowed in Flow Designer? And the answer is we can't share that information. Yes, we do. So potentially you can reach out to your account team and have that conversation if they're available to share that information with you. But we try and keep the forward-looking statements on this show really as small as possible.
All right. Well, in that
so
case,
yes, the poll has been launched for the feedback for these sessions. So
yes.
Please let us know if you're getting value out of these, how we can best angle them to provide even more value to you in the future, or anything that we can do differently. You won't hurt our feelings. Let us know what we're doing good. Let us know what we're doing that we can improve on, and we will try to do so.
Yes, please give us all your feedback. I am super happy that all of you have joined us today. I hope there was some new information. Be sure to check out all the great info that we will put on the community and in the description of the YouTube video. There is another question about doing a women's developer forum. I don't think I said so, but I maybe joining.
Well, you mentioned the lady coding happy hour.
I did, because they invited me to join for the next time if I have time. So if there's going to be a next lady coding happy hour, I will join that if it fits my private schedule. But yes. So thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for your questions. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. This was very interesting. I hope all of you enjoy and have fun and create great experiences and great workflows with the new tools that we released in Rome. Thank you so much. Have a lovely, lovely day and a wonderful weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.